Welcome into the Frunch Room. I have to say a big hello to Mrs. Manicotti, and I'd like to thank her for tuning in right here into the Frunch Room, and I welcome you into the Frunch Room. The Frunch Room with MarlowKubic. Yes, my lovely wife, Kat Marlow, my own personal Yoko, is not here today, so I'm running this show solo, this little segment, and we have just finished the 4th of July. It's past. Mid-year. It's been hot and humid here in the Midwest. We're right outside Chicago. And as a child growing up on the southeast side of Chicago, particular neighborhood of Hegewisch. And as a kid, 4th of July was a big thing. And this is back in the 60s when I was a little kid, 6, 7, 8 years old. It was always a lot of fun. You couldn't wait, right? Now I'm not so much into fireworks, and everyone worries about their dogs and animals, and I'm with it. The fireworks are out of hand, but it was horrible. When I was a child, I was one of those kids. My relatives were those people. Those creepy neighbors you have blowing off all the time. This year it wasn't as bad. For a while there, they started in April and ended in October. And I think the authorities put the kibosh on, said, listen, we're going to start handing out tickets if you start blowing it off too early or too late or too much through the year. We did have one neighbor that was really obsessed with the fireworks, and thank God he has moved on to some other neighborhood down the road or up the street. But the 4th of July, when I was a kid, it was always a big to-do because my mother's birthday is on the 4th of July. Now, she passed away a few years ago. She would have been 93 in this year, right here, 2019. And it was always a big deal because Mom's birthday was on the 4th of July. So not only 4th of July festivities, flags and flag shirts and flag pants. I was never big on all that stuff. I didn't wear the flag pants and all that. Fireworks, parties, gatherings, the family. The family would come together on the 4th of July. It was a big to-do. And at this time, back in the 60s, my parents had a swimming pool with the deck, the above-ground swimming pool, 4 foot tall, the deck, the ladder, the floaty things, all that. Had the grill, had a swing. Mom had it laid out. Big gathering. The family would come. I used to like it. I used to love it. Because you had nothing much else going on when you're a kid, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. You got nothing. So the big party. It's one thing I sort of miss is having those family gatherings. And at the time, you love it when you're young, and then as you grow older and become a teenager, then not so much. You're like, I got my own stuff to do, man. I'm going to go hang out on the corner. I don't have time to come and do all this. That's the way it was when I was growing up, as when you become a teenager. But it was a big deal. Get together, the barbecue, everyone. My dad used to get a little lit too much. Sometime Mom would get mad. Birthday. There's your birthday gift. I got everyone here. I'm making the grill. I'm building hamburgers, hot dogs. Then he'd get a little too tanked. Mom would get pissed. I do remember a few times going to the beach for the holiday, say the 4th of July. Now, I was very young. My father wasn't beachy at all. My father would go to the beach in a nice pair of slacks. He had the button-down shirt. He'd have the button-down shirt, the short sleeves rolled up 2 times. I'd always have to do that, roll them up 2 times. Make like a nice little pleat, flatten it out, make it look sharp. He'd have his fedora on, always a hat. Black socks, dress shoes, looking sharp, going to the beach. I wasn't too big on the beach either. As far as when I got a little older and became a teenager, and all your friends, we're going to go out to the beach. Too sandy. I didn't like going in the lake. Too much stuff in the lake. Mercury flows, alewives, seaweed. This is Lake Michigan. Too hot. You want to have something to eat, you want to have something to drink, it gets piss warm right away. Eating a hot dog out on the beach, the wind blows, you got sand everywhere, sand in your shorts, sand in your food. And then as you leave, you have sand in your car. Nah, I just wasn't much. Neither was my father or parents. My dad, I remember a lot of times we'd have a picnic for a holiday, say the 4th of July or Labor Day. At least at the beach, you got the breeze because it would always be hot and stinking humid. And I don't fend well in that weather unless I'm on vacation hanging out in Key West with a Cubra Libra and next to the pool. And there's a bar in the pool and there's my women's. My lovely wife, caught my own person, Yoko, and you're watching everyone around the pool. A breeze, an ocean breeze coming along. At the beach, at least you have that. But my father was more the forest preserve picnic guy. Now, as far as the forest preserve, the humidity seemed to even build more with all the greenery, shrubbery, trees, grass. Plus, there was no water. Not that I'm a big water guy. But at least at the house, we had the pool and we had an air-conditioned house. This is why we have designed houses. I don't get why everyone's so much into the outside. For years and years back, the cavemen are like, we got to get inside. I'm tired of this outside freaking hot, cold, raining, lightning. Get some rocks, stack them up. We'll live in these rocks here. There's a cave. We have something. So as the human race developed, we said, hey, we got these rocks. Let's square them off a bit. Put some mud in there. We could stack these babies up. Hence a house. Some thatching for the roof. Then apparently a roofer came by and said, no thatching. We have this tar paper we'll put up there. Yeah, but you go to everyone's house. Oh, it's 95 out, 400% humidity. Oh, you want to go outside? Yeah, I got some potato salad and I got a regular green salad. It's really nice after sitting outside for 5 hours. Plus, you got flies and bugs, and you're sitting there. It's all uncomfortable. Swatting all the time. I tend to venture into the kitchen area to enjoy my meal when visiting, maybe for a holiday at friend's house or relatives. Always outside. Then my dad, the forest preserve thing, I just never dug it. Never, too many bugs. The picnic bench, spiders on there, sitting around. Got to haul all that crap out there. Build a fire, start cooking. You got to bring coolers. The ice melts. Everything gets soggy. Not much into the picnics. I love the holidays. Don't get me wrong. I really do. But like I said, we're not outdoorsy. This is why we purchased a home. Roof on our head, air conditioning, comforts of home. And I know people like to go outside and, drive boats and all that. I'm not much on water because, we've seen all the issues with the shark bites. Doesn't that tell you something? The sharks are catching on. They're catching on. Swordfish out there. You don't want to go in the ocean. I never go in the ocean. I don't go in the lake. I'll venture into a pool occasionally. And I stay out of the hot tubs as well. But the holidays, getting together with family, it's fantastic, right? You get together and see all those relatives. And there's always like a nice jar of pickles. And I love that. Enjoy the pickles. I do. Yes, in the front room. Oh, we have a special thing. The Wienermobile, the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile was in town. And I know I work for a radio station called WJOB, where you could sometimes hear this show broadcast, WJOB AM 1230, 104.7 FM, right here outside of Chicago in Hammond, Indiana. Thank you so much, WJOB. So they had the Wienermobile by. And my colleague and friend, Tony Panic, he's kind of a hotshot radio star now. He got to do the Wienermobile interview, got a ride in it, got to drive it, got to do all sorts of stuff. I don't get to do that. I got to scale it back because I'm just kind of doing this thing online, right? With my lovely wife, Cop Marlow, my own person, Yoko, who's not here right now. But here are the Wienermobiles. We got them over to the Brantwood studio lot. And as you'll see in the footage that we shot, there are two of them, the vintage Wienermobiles. Now, if you remember the Wiener whistle, the Oscar Mayer Wiener whistle, and as you're watching those Wienermobiles pull up, I'm going to show you the Oscar Mayer Weiner whistle that I have now. This is from probably 1965, 66. It's a vintage one, and some of the newer ones were made differently, but this one's from 65. I remember I bought they used to put the Weiner whistles between the hot dogs. You know how the hot dogs are packaged? I think it's 5 and 5, right? And they're in plastic, and then in between they'd slide this Weiner whistle. So there's the Weiner whistle. If you could see that, we'll zoom in. And this is the original one from when I was a kid. I sometimes hang on to stuff, and I've traveled. I lived in New York City, LA, Chicago, downtown Chicago, Northwest Indiana. And here, this one has followed me this whole way. I don't know how to do that Weiner thing, but it has the different tones, right? I'm not sure how to do that, but this is the original one from when I was a child, probably 65, 66. And we used to, Mom, would you buy the Oscar Mayer hot dogs? And then we just, of course, I loved hot dogs when I was a kid. All we had were Oscar Mayer back then. Now, we didn't have the Nathans and all the really good ones, and I don't even buy Oscar Mayer anymore. But this Oscar Mayer Weiner whistle, a true vintage one from 1965. And after a while, we started getting wise. They'd slide them in between. We'd just go in the store and pull them out in between, and then this way we'd collect them. But my Oscar Mayer Weiner whistle, and I hope you enjoy. Now, the Oscar Mayer Wienermobiles that they sent here to Brantwood Studios, they're a smoller version. I wanted to take a little view inside, but we can't really fit anything. But there they are, the Oscar Mayer Wienermobiles. And take that, Tony Panic and WJLB, for the Front Room has some pool too here in the world of radio, which I call radio, online radio. And sometimes terrestrial. You could catch me on WJLB occasionally. And I hope you enjoyed the show right here in the Front Room, and we'll see you next time.